Hi, everyone, and welcome to Friday Night Live. I am your host, Crystal Fry, empowerment coach and speaker, and I want to welcome you all in tonight for tonight's show. We are going to be talking about responsibilities, and more importantly, who exactly are you responsible for? So as you come in tonight to the live show, say hello so that I can say hello back to you. If you are watching this in the replay, say hello and use the hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from. We are broadcasting on Facebook, on YouTube, and over on LinkedIn. So again, as you come in, say hello. And let's really get into this topic tonight of who exactly are you responsible for? Now, when we think about responsibilities, we really don't have too much trouble thinking about what those may be. Tim, it's so good to see you, my friend. Good evening. I hope you are well. So responsibilities, it's really not that hard to think about some, just top of mind. Work, school, maybe if you have school-age children, getting them to school, maybe feeding them breakfast, making sure that you and they are fed, that you have bills to pay, you have things that you're involved with. Maybe you're involved with your church. Maybe there's extracurricular activities. You have all types of things that you are responsible for, right? It's just part of being a human, part of your daily life, things you're responsible for. So tonight, as we dig into this topic of who exactly are you responsible for? We talked about some of the things, right? That would kind of be like, what are you responsible for? Those things. What I really want to talk to you tonight is about who you are responsible for. Because it's very easy for us to get involved and for us to fall into that trap of blame. She did this, he did this, and so I did that, right? This kind of cause and effect mentality of, well, they did this to me, so that's why I feel this way. Or I always think about my children when I think about this kind of stuff, like, oh, well, he made me hit him. No, he didn't make you do anything, right? That was a choice. What he did may have caused an emotion to come up that made you angry, but he didn't actually physically take your hand and, make you hit him. So anyway, something I had to teach my children very early on about whose choice it is to do what. So tonight, that's kind of in the same pocket of what we're talking about. Who are you actually responsible for? And I'm not going to take a lot of time to give you the answer to that. I'm going to give it to you right now. You are responsible for you. And you are only responsible for you. Now, we're taking this not in the context of I am a parent, I have children, I am responsible for their well-being. Yes, we're taking this into the context of who we are as individuals, the choices that we make, the actions that come from those choices, the decisions that we make, what we choose to do or not do about them. That is your responsibility, my friend, and only your responsibility. You are not responsible for your spouse, your partner, your friend, your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your coworkers. You are not responsible for them and what they do. Each person has a choice in their own actions. So you, my friend, are responsible for what you are going to do. When you are presented with a situation, you're the one who has to make the choice. You're the one who has to make the decision on what it is that you are going to do, on how you are going to respond to whatever that situation is. That's you. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have trusted advisors. That doesn't mean that you can't have people who are in your circle that you present issues or problems to and try to get some advice. The Bible talks to us about wise counsel, that fools tend to make decisions all on their own. There's nothing wrong with seeking that wise counsel that's good for us. But friends, your wise counsel, while they may help you come to that conclusion, and they may help you figure out exactly what that right decision is based on whatever factors you have, You, my friend, are the only one who can take the necessary action. So when we think about who we are responsible for, we are responsible for ourselves, right? We're responsible for us. And I think that a lot of times we get that a little twisted, or maybe we don't put enough weight on the fact that it is we who make the choices, good, bad, right, or wrong. Listen, I've made a host of bad decisions in my life. Those are my decisions. And when we reach this place where we feel like things are happening to us, we want to blame other people for the situation that we find ourselves in. Not to say that external circumstances can't play a part, but at the end of the day, my friends, you are the person who has the responsibility to decide what you do next. You are responsible for your response. And I think about this, I've been thinking about this a lot this week in the context of thinking about, okay, well, I want to do these things, right? I want to have these things happen. I want to see these things come to fruition. Well, what's my part? What's my part in all this, right? What's my part in, and what is God's part? I did a podcast interview earlier this week, and the host asked a really interesting question about, hearing this, the saying, let go and let God, right? Oh, let go and let God. Well, I'm just going to let God handle that. Like, yeah, sometimes. But here's the missing part to that. You have to do your part. We know that God will do his part. He will do his part. He is faithful. He does not fail. He does not lie. He is always on time. God will do his part. My friend, you have to do yours. I have to do mine. If I want this thing, whatever the thing is, if I want that, I have to do my part. I have to partner with God to make this happen in my life. Because like I said, he's going to show up and he's going to do his part. I have to do mine. I am responsible for listening, to understanding, to discerning what it is that he has called me to do. And then I am also responsible for being obedient to fulfill my portion of that obligation. I can trust that he will do his part. Am I doing mine? So as we're talking about this, who are you responsible for? You're responsible for you. It's your responsibility to sit down and walk through whatever issue you're facing and do it prayerfully. It's your responsibility to ask for what you need. And then it's also your responsibility to take the time to listen and understand and get the information for what it is that you need to do next. And then, my friends, it's your responsibility to take that action. So, in thinking about taking actions, I want to remind you that you're not responsible for other people's actions, okay? Because as we're thinking about this and we say, okay, I know God is going to do his part. I have to do my part. What is my part? Okay, I feel like I understand my part. I'm going to do these things. Oh, but I'm dependent on other people, right? I'm dependent on them to respond. I'm dependent on them to reciprocate. So how does that play into everything? My friends, you're not responsible for their actions. What you do in that instance, you have to do your part, and you have to trust that God is going to bring the people into your life that need to be there, that he's going to put you in front of the people that you need to be connected with, that he's going to put you in the situations that are going to be beneficial to bring that dream to fruition. You are responsible for your part and nothing more. That's it. Just do your part, right? Just do your part. And that is where we often, and I say we collectively, because I am completely included in this, we often don't fulfill our whole part. We often do a piece of it, we do a portion of it, we get started on it, but we don't completely fulfill our part. And if we don't completely fulfill our part, then the whole of it can't come to fruition the way that it is supposed to. Absolutely, Tim. Yes. It is always in his timing. And that is something I will be, again, completely transparent, waiting patiently is not something that I have always been so good at. Even now, sometimes I'm not really that good at it. But that's why I continue to remind myself, it's not my will, but his. It's not in my time, it's in his. And I trust that if I continue to take the actionable steps that he has told me to do, he's going to do his part. I'm not guaranteed that it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not guaranteed it's going to happen next month. I'm not guaranteed it's going to happen next year. But I trust in the fact that if I do what I'm being told to do, if I am obedient to what he is telling me to do, then he's going to come through and he's going to do his part. And then bang, there you go. There, we've got it. You guys, there is no such thing as an overnight success. How many of you have heard that phrase, right? Oh my gosh, they're an overnight success. No, what you don't see is the years that went in to creating what externally is seen as an overnight success. There was so much time and effort that went into it, things that we know nothing about. So just keep that in mind. And I also, too, in understanding that you are responsible for you and that you are the only thing that you can control, I want you to release yourself from the burden of trying to control all of the things that are outside of your control. Other people, how they're going to respond, how they're going to react, whether they're going to say yes or no, whether it's going to rain or there's going to be sunshine today. All of these things, we are under this grand illusion that we can control all of these different areas of our lives. But the thing is that we interact with other people and we can't control them. All we can control is us, what we choose, what we say, how we're going to approach, whether or not we're going to be foolish or wise in a situation. That's what we can control. So my friends, I want you to release yourself from that burden of trying to control all of these things that you just simply have no control over. It's like trying to change the direction of the wind or try to stop it from raining or try to keep the sun from shining. We can't control that. And when you can release yourself from the burden of trying to control things that are outside of your control, let me tell you what happens. You learn to trust a lot more. 2, you have a lot more peace and joy in your life because you're not burdened with that stress and that worry of trying to control things that you just simply can't. You eliminate the frustration that comes with trying to force things, trying to push, trying to, put a square peg in a round hole or something like that. You release yourself from that burden. You release yourself from that frustration. And you can feel much more at ease. You can feel much more at peace. You can have more joy in your life when you do that. So focus on what you can control. What is in your power to control? What's in your power to control? Focus on that and then trust God to handle the rest of it. That's it. Pretty easy. Well, let me rephrase. Pretty simple. Definitely not always easy. Definitely not always easy because we want it to happen and we want it to happen now. And most of the time, that's really just not the way it works. So focus on what you can control. Focus on what is in your power and let God handle the rest. That's all he asks us to do anyway. He doesn't ask us to do things that are outside of our control. He asks us to be obedient and do the things that we are called to do. Do the things that we are asked to do. He will handle the rest. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap us up tonight. Pretty short episode tonight, so I want to thank you all for being here with me. As always, every Friday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over here on Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. Again, say hello. If you're watching this in the replay, go ahead and say hello and use the hashtag replay and tell me where you're watching from. Thank you so much for being here with me live. I hope that you all have a wonderful and fabulous weekend, and I will see you all again real soon. Take care.